mid to upper 60s. We're looking at breezy.
And they never had no success doing it that way.
Slingshot and 5 rocks. That's all that David did to kill Goliath. He just used a slingshot and 5 rocks. As you guys join in here, I want to thank you. That's all he did. I'm serious. David took a slingshot and 5 rocks. And we worry about things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of life. You know, what do you do? How do you kill your Goliaths? Hey, how's it going, beautiful? How do you kill your Goliaths? How do you slay your Goliaths? Good morning, guys. That's right, 5 smooth stones. He didn't even use all 5 of them, just 1, right? So everything you have to be successful, everything you need to get it done is basically already in you. So, amber waves of gray, love that. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, how's it going? Walada, thank you, Nikki J. Events. Good morning, Tara Tate the Great, queen of the street. Queen of the boogie board, queen of the skateboard, queen of everything. No singing, yes. Hey, what's going on, Sandy? Good to see you. Good morning, Shanna. Good morning, Necessary Drama, J. Michelle. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for coming in. I want to talk about some things today about worry and anxiety. It's something that I used to have a lot of experience with that I don't anymore, but it's something that I notice a lot of people still struggle with. So, before I go into that, I want to try and make this as quick as possible. Hey, Posse 6068, good to see you as well. Always a pleasure to have people in my scope. I'm always fortunate. I swear to you, I'm always humbled. So I want you guys to understand that this is not something I expect. It's every time I have anybody else come in here, I'm extremely, extremely humbled at the fact that people want to listen to me, to hear anything I have to say, especially for as long as I say it. So before I start out, please do me a favor. If this is your first time, please do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat so I know. Good morning from Brazil. Oh, cool, Jets fan. I was thinking about you, man. We didn't see you in Keith Maurice's game thing last night, so we're wondering how you're doing and stuff. Do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you're new, so I know kind of what to say, who I am, so I can tell you who I am. Second thing is, if you like the title, if you like what you think I'm about to say, what I always ask of you guys is I want a value of exchange. So, and giving you some information, hopefully that will help you. If you can share this with your friends and your followers, I would really appreciate it. The more people in here as possible, the better. I want to talk about worrying and anxiety and the things that I do in order to get over there. Thank you, Teresa Marie. That's so thoughtful for you to say. I'm extremely blessed and humbled. You're the owner of Tampa Bay's most exclusive boutique, senior portrait studio. That's awesome. You are also a professional dork, and which I believe that's totally awesome that you own who you are. So I appreciate that. I'm kidding. I'm just reading your profile, but okay. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for inviting your followers. Been dealing with anxiety all week. I get it. Before I go into it, let me tell you who I am, because a lot of new people in here. This is who I am. My name is Ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant, which is a CPA here in the United States of America. In addition to that, hey, Kim, in addition to being a CPA, I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up to No Business Plan, which helps entrepreneurs start businesses to go from their ideas to the marketplace. So rather than wasting your time writing a business plan, you use my book, and I cut down all the steps so you can get to where you need to go with your business. Hey, Shariami. In addition to that, I'm also the founder of Economics. You probably saw that in the title. Economics. Eka is my last name. And we focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. And more importantly, the importance of all those things being congruent. How do you get my book? You can find my book. You can get it actually from me directly. If you buy it from me, I'll personalize it and sign and send you a copy. You can get that at startmeupbook.com. Thank you so much, Sheree. Startmeupbook.com. It's also on Amazon. Yes, thank you so much, sweet and low. It's also on other areas too. So I want you guys to know the reason why I put my site in there is so that you can come and get it from me directly. I can write you a personalized note. That's the only way. That's the only way we can do it. You can get it in other places. You get it from me directly. That's how I do it. Citizen Crane, thank you so much for being here. You are awesome. Matt Crane, I can't say enough about this guy. He's a guy that I follow, a guy whose insight I value. and a person who is changing lives, and I'm trying to do the same thing. So it's always great to attract people like that. The fact that you guys are on here, I do the same thing. There's a lot of great people on the scope, so I'm really blessed and humbled by this, to be honest with you. Today I want to talk to you about but anxiety as well as worry. Now, somebody here, I think it's Necessary Drama, you said in here something about how you used to struggle with anxiety and worry and stuff like that. And the thing is this. There's a whole slew of things at our disposal. What's important is that we realize that I used to go through the same thing. And I'm going to tell you what you should do a scope on how to deal with being mad, being ebong mad. That's an inside joke in case guys don't get it. Ebong mad is a kind of a term from another scope, a game show scope. But anyways, social anxiety disorder. Yeah, I understand that. It's how do I say it? I'm going to tell you about myself first, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and then we can talk a little bit more about things that you're going through, and maybe I can give you some insight, if that's fair. So for me, about 12 years ago, I was immigrating to the country. I was already working in the United States, coming from Canada, but I've always had a dream to live in this country. So I was working in public accounting. Public accounting, as an example, public accounting firms are PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte & Touche, Arthur Andersen, Ernst & Young, KPMG, all those. I worked at two of those. I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I also worked at Deloitte & Touche. When I was at two of those places at different times, I went through tremendous amounts of anxiety, and the anxiety that I was facing was multiple. The first level was my ability to work in this country was predicated on working at that firm. So I was here on a work visa. Now, in the event something went wrong, they didn't like me, they fired me, I got into an altercation, anything that happened, and if they let me go, I'm out, right? If they let me go, I was out. And if that happened, I only had a month to find another job, or else I'd have to go back home. That's exactly how stressful it was. And I'd gone to school here. I've lived here. I was building relationships with people here. I was living in the Washington, D.C. area. I really cared about that. So that gave me a lot of stress. I was really walking on eggshells a lot of the times. And some of you may or may not know people in those areas. That's very high stress, high pressure. So I was working for somebody in both cases that I didn't get along with at all. And I'm one of the nicest guys in the world if you know me personally, but I didn't get along with that person at all. And they had the ability to disrupt, my path, whether to stay there, also to stay in the country. There's a whole bunch of things they had. So every single day I would stress. Every single day I would worry that would be the day I was going to get fired. Every single day it started building this toxicity in me to the point where, yeah, they were. Well, actually, in front of them, yes, they were both of them are dicks. I think they're both still there at the firm, but yeah, I literally was, every day I'd freak out. And we all, back then, we all had BlackBerries. This is 2004, 2005. We all had BlackBerries, exactly forever fashion. We all had BlackBerries. So every day I couldn't sleep. I'm checking my BlackBerry every single day. I'm freaking out. I can't sleep. I'm sleeping 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. When I do get up and I go to work, I'm stressed on the way. It's the longest drive. I'm taking the longest route to get to work because I don't want to go there, right? But I didn't have any other options at the time. I couldn't go anywhere else. And I know I always say you do have other options. My mind hadn't evolved there yet. I wasn't at that point where I am today where I do believe options always exist. I wasn't there. So I couldn't have that kind of level of consciousness. I couldn't, that's not who I am today. I was not there 10 years ago. So I couldn't just say, oh, just quit. F these people. My mind wasn't there. So I was carrying, I literally was carrying an 800-pound gorilla. I carried so much stress. But see, what happens is the physiological component to stress. Stress is something normal, right? Stress is something that's supposed to happen. The reason why stress exists in our lives, and just to give you a quick little synopsis of this, stress exists in our lives to save us. So when you're a caveman and you're running around as a caveman, or cave woman, and something may kill you. Dear GPS, I'm lost in your, funny. And so when you're running around as a caveman, right? When you're running around as a caveman, or a cave woman, whatever is happening causes problems, right? Whatever, like anything can kill you. And so you're always on high alert. You're on DEFCON 4. You're on stress level 4. All those things. And you're sitting around worried, right? When I worked on, exactly, see Necessary Drama, that's it. And so the thing is, we start following these, we start absorbing these things. So what your body does is it produces cortisol, right? And cortisol is like basically an adrenaline. Adrenaline is good if it's used in a short term for what it's intended for. It's not good if you're constantly creating adrenaline. What ends up happening is you get sick. What ends up happening is you don't sleep. What ends up happening is you eat like shit. You eat crappy foods. You're eating fast foods. You're working 13, 14, 15 hours a day, which is what I was doing. I was in a high stress, high level environment. And to the point where I had to go to the doctor because I was going through a tremendous amount of anxiety. My stomach was in knots. I couldn't eat. I was losing weight. And what ended up happening was the doctor put me on Bisperone, which was, I didn't want to go on anything else like Paxil. I love adrenaline. But you see, the difference here, Tara, is adrenaline is something that you're using for good. I had no use for the adrenaline that I was generating. That's what the problem was. I had no use for the cortisol that was pumping through my veins. That was the major difference in my life. And this kind of adrenaline and stress doesn't help you in any capacity. If you're worried about your life or your job, if you're worried about survival, makes perfect sense. If you may get killed and your adrenaline kicks in, it's supposed to. That's the whole point of it, having it to begin with. If you're walking a tightrope, you're walking by a cliff, if you're skateboarding, if you're doing whatever, that's supposed to happen to keep your senses aware and heightened. Because if you're lackadaisical, you can kill yourself. So that's why adrenaline and cortisol is important in that regard. But on a daily basis, heck no. Unless I'm in Afghanistan and I'm responsible for saving people's lives, right? Oh, thanks so much, Sharon. I'm gonna tell you guys about a blab I'm doing tonight. It's in my calendar, it just popped up, but yes. And so a lot of times with cortisol, a lot of times with adrenaline, it is great if you're able to harness it. Part of the problem with both of us is with people in general is, one, they're not really at a place where they can harness the cortisol and the adrenaline that's being generated. And the second thing is we're allowing cortisol and adrenaline to be generated for no reason. So going back to that story, I ended up going to my doctor. He puts me on Bisperone. I didn't want to go on Paxil. I didn't want to go on all these other things. I was very concerned about my brain, where my mind was going to be. So I ended up on something called Bisperone, made me even more anxious. I was jittery all day long. I couldn't sleep even more. And then one day I realized, what am I doing? Like, there's two things actually. If you guys have caught my last scope a couple days ago about the cemetery from last week, I was at a cemetery doing a scope, and I knew somebody that died. That was the first time that someone I knew literally had passed away. And I was like, literally I said to myself, this is what I said to myself. I remember one day, I remember saying this to myself. It was April 2006. It was April 2006. It was mid-April, like April 15th or 16th, something like that. And I just said to myself, I literally said, what the fuck are you doing? This person that's exactly what I said. And I'm being sorry, I apologize if my swearing gets to you, whatever, but I had to say that. That's exactly what I said. I said, I know somebody who just died, right? It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to remember that person except their family and friends, right? They're not going to put my name on the side of that building. They're not going to put my name on the side of the firm. It's not going to be Deloitte, Touche, and Eka. It's not going to be PricewaterhouseCoopers and Eka. It's going to be PricewaterhouseCoopers, and it continues on with his life. They'll take my work from my desk and give it to somebody else. That's what's exactly going to happen. What value am I bringing to my current situation that's going to warrant killing myself slowly while people are already dying, right? They're dying. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saving lives. Decisions I make do not affect the literal lives of people. I'm not at war. If I make a mistake, I can die and kill my whole battalion or my whole platoon. I'm not in that situation. I'm not a cop where if I go stop somebody, that may be my last day, right? I'm not in a situation that requires tremendous amounts of adrenaline and cortisol, right? I'm not like Tara, she's a skateboarder and snowboarder, and she needs to be heightened and aware, or else you can get hurt really bad. I'm not a skydiver. I'm not walking on a tightrope. I'm not in any of those things, right? And with Tara, the reason I bring up her name is because she got run over by a truck, and I interviewed her a month ago or so. She got run over by a truck. Literally cracked her head and had 2 traumatic brain injuries, and that's stress. And if you can learn about how to deal with life, she's a perfect example about how to deal with life. She's just living. She's happy. She's alive. She understands the importance of this. So Yes, not a UPS worker who can get boxes fall on them. Exactly, man. Right? She got run over by a truck, brain cracked and everything, and or skull cracked, sorry, and everything. And so I want to remind you that is a different story, right? I can understand that adrenaline, that cortisol, that the importance of that, because what she was doing required her to be aware and concerned. And if she did not have that level of awareness there, right, she could have been gone. She most likely could have been dead. But a lot of things that we worry about, a lot of things that we stress about, are literally, we're worried about things that may happen in the future. And what I realized for myself was I was worrying about things that may happen in the future, but I had no control over any of that shit. I had no control over somebody being a dick to me. I had no control. That was their issue, not mine. And I cannot allow something that may happen in the future affect my present, my now. It made no sense to me. But the minute that was the first thing that reminded me of it. And the second time when I had some stress was when I had some stress was when I went to about a year ago. I had a friend of mine, someone I was working with here in the building, and I knew her sparingly. I'd see her out once in a while at the cafe and everything else. She was jogging. This happened in March. I remember to this day, March 16th, 2014. She's jogging every morning before she comes to work. We were supposed to have a meeting. I was part of this mastermind group with former professional athletes as well as some business owners in the area. And we're literally together having a meeting about things. That was the night we were supposed to have that meeting. And so she's one of the facilitators of it. So she's jogging this morning. She's here in the Washington, D.C. area near in Ashburn. She's jogging in the morning, 6 in the morning, gets hit by a car by a 65-year-old woman going to work. Hit by like a RAV4, just a regular car, a woman. Hey, good morning, Alvin. Hit by a car jogging, right? She gets hit by a car jogging, dies in the street that day. 31 years old, 2 daughters. Ask yourself the question, the things you were worried about that day, the thing that she may have been worried about that day, the day she died, do you think it mattered anymore? It didn't, right? The things that we worry about, they don't matter half the time. And that shook me. Then later on that year, I ended up losing my dog, like within hours. Like, he got sick. I took him to the vet. He was gone. I had to put him down. And after that, I had a friend who died a week after that, from breast cancer. That's why I always wear pink. I'm like breast cancer awareness. I'm pink all day long. I know a lot of people who have cancer who've died. And so she was 34 years old. I watched her. I saw her the week before she died. I was in the hospice. We were all in the hospice hanging out, talking to her. And she was already out of it. And the week after that, she passed away in her sleep. And so that put me on this path of, what the hell am I, what am I worried about? And what are you worried about? What are we concerned about, right? Death comes in general, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're right, people say it comes in threes. That may be true. I mean, people are dying every single day. Every single day there'll be somebody who was here yesterday is not going to be here today. And it will happen. And that's just the way it is. And the thing is, that reminded me that the things that I fear, the things that I'm worried about, the things that I'm concerned about, they literally, how does it affect my present? If it affects my future, I can't necessarily be concerned with that. Hey, Vicky Fitch. Check out Vicky Fitch. She's awesome. And people literally, are going every single day. And so the goal here you got to ask yourself is, am I doing everything that I possibly can do to share my vision, to share my message, and to share my gifts with the world? So when you're generating anxiety, and when you have anxiety and worry, the thing that I do now is I ask myself, whatever I'm thinking about right now that I'm concerned with, how is it going to affect my present? Because you gotta look at it this way. The future is a fantasy, right? And a lot of things we fear never really get to the level that we think they're going to be. And the past is a photograph. So I call this time traveling. So many people, and I used to do the same thing. I would time travel, right? We time travel by going back and reminiscing, and not even reminiscing, regretting the past and the mistakes we made. We go to the future to think about how it's a fantasy, how it should change, how, this may happen, that may happen, anything may happen. I'm not saying be reckless with your time and reckless with what you do, right? What I am saying is, if you focus on the present, your body will start to relieve itself of the cortisol. What I also do is I meditate every day, 5 minutes a day. I try to get up in the morning and meditate. I get up in the morning and 5 minutes at a minimum, or I'll sit in my car and just let my mind go wherever it goes, and then control it. Exactly. A lot of times, what Kim says, worry basically steals is like a thief in the night. It will steal your joy. It'll steal your present. So the first thing I do is I try to 5 minutes. If you can't do 5, do 1 minute. If you can't do 1 minute, do 30 seconds. You can do 30 seconds. You live in the now. Take a second, even if it means you're at work. If I have stress at work, I get up, walk out. So after I do that, those are kind of things that I do. The second thing that I do really simply is I find joy. I find laughter. You have to understand how important laughter is. Laughter relieves you the cortisol. Laughter brings your soul at ease. Laughter brings your spirit at ease. Laughter brings joy back into your life. And when you have joy, anxiety doesn't play a role like it used to. If you're in heightened awareness, right? Oh, yes. I'll reply to that, Vicky. I did see your message. Thank you. When you're applying to when you're on a heightened level of awareness, and you're like this, and then you're freaking out. Laughter brings that out of you. It helps you release the cortisol. Laughter is a medicine. It is the best medicine. So I want to implore you to do the same thing. That's what I do when I'm in a situation where I'm concerned. What up, Keith Maurice? How you feeling, bro? How you feeling? My man doing scopes. You're way too serious. In what way? Hey, Miss Emerson. You're way too serious. Hey, you can go watch something. Go take some time. Go on YouTube for 5 minutes. Find something. Find a comedian you like. Find a TV show you like. Watch it for 5 minutes. That's it, right? At a minimum, it'll release the cortisol in your brain. I guarantee you'll start to feel a little bit better. And then go back to meditation. And the third thing you want to do is you want to find somebody else. Thank you so much, Vicky. I really appreciate this. Vicky Fitch is an amazing person. And she's great, business expert, deals with direct marketing and sales, and she's an expert in that space. So you want to follow her and find out. Yes, thank you so much, Lo. I do. I laugh at everything. I reframe everything to laugh at it. It doesn't matter. It's for my amusement. Again, I ask myself the question every single time: if I die, what does it matter? Right? Whose life did I touch? Right? Am I gonna be concerned about somebody being mean to me? Am I gonna be concerned about working for somebody whose life is in the shit? And that's why they're behaving that way? It's not about me. I didn't do anything to warrant that behavior. When somebody behaves a certain way to me, I got to ask myself, did I do something to warrant that? If I know I didn't, I may ask them. If I didn't, then I know it's not me. And I got to keep my life moving. And so as a result of that, I'll find a way to laugh at it. And so laughter is the best medicine. That's the way it works. Now look, these are just basic tips when dealing with worry and anxiety. What you should do is you should run the gamut. Talk to a professional, licensed professional, to find out more about yourself specifically, right? Oh man, Jets fan, thank you so much. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to find that thing. You need to find that song. You need to find that motivational piece. You need to find that music. You got to find that somebody you know in your life. You got to find something that you can draw upon and call upon when you hit a place when you know anxiety is going to take over you. Okay. So the third thing I do is, basically what I say is I find something that I want to do to keep me in state, whether it's a person, whether it's a motivational speech, whether it's something I've heard before. In my cases, I shared last week's scope. I went to the cemetery, did a scope in the cemetery, walked around telling people what I do when I'm discouraged. And I literally, every single time I drive by a cemetery, what's going on, Ram? What I do is I drive by a cemetery. I get out, I walk around the tombstones, I take a look and say, these people don't no longer have the chance I have today. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you getting it. I appreciate you getting that book. I appreciate you loving it. Man, that means a lot to me. Oh, thank you so much, Jets, man. You know what I thought about thinking about this idea? This morning when I was driving in, I went to get Starbucks and I was looking at everybody, look at the faces of everybody. Look at the faces of people walking to work. Wherever you are. Do me a favor. When you drive to work, when you walk to work, to the metro, the subway, whatever you do when you go to work, you see a bunch of people. Look at their faces. What's going on, Mr. Martin? Welcome to my scope. Take a look at their face, right? See exactly what they look like. 80% of them, I'm willing to bet, look miserable. They're not happy where they are. They hate where they're going. They're worried about something. They're worried about a relationship. They're worried about money coming into their lives. They're worried about not getting what they want. They're worried about and concerned about having to get on this train and go to that place. Look at their face. This is every single day doing shit they hate, right? And not everybody has the wherewithal to quit what they're doing, right? Hey, Keith, that's awesome. And but it's so true. But hopefully that gives you perspective. Thank you so much. I'm 40 years old. I look young. I appreciate it. I drink a lot of water. I'm 40 years old. And That's basically it. You do not want to hate, you don't want to end up hating life. You don't. Because, again, you guys got to get this last principle. Yes, I'm 40. You got to get this last principle when it comes to about life. When it ends, and it ends like this. Don't get it twisted. Hollywood, television, blogs, books, all that stuff. All those things make you believe that when you died in your bed, and people come over and they know you're dying, and it's like a slow, methodical death, and like, oh my God, no pain, die. No. Majority of people die through doing mundane things. Everything that you've done in your life, someone has died doing it. Walking, running, sleeping, driving, eating, sex. Every single thing you've done, someone has died doing it, right? That's how most people die. They don't die through, oh, this is over, oh, I'm going to die, and then you call your friends and come see you. That's not what happens. So you don't know when the clock is going to tick over. See, the thing that gives us comfort in life is that we know when things are changing. We know seasons are coming. They can actually look at the map. They can look at the calendar and tell you when it's going to be fall and spring, and they know that. They know using systems. They know all that stuff, right? They also know when you look at a sport like a game, you know the time. Because we know when we have a watch, we know what the time is. We know an hour is 60 minutes, right? We know that 24 hours is in a day, and so we can count down to things and like prepare ourselves for the end. Life, my friends, is not like that at all. Life, my friends, does not end that way. It's a wrap, it's a wrap, it's a wrap. And then they put you in a funeral home and they put you in the ground. That's it. It doesn't matter. The things we worry about when people are traveling, worry about plane crash and everything, all the other stuff, people die from disease, and they die from a bunch of other regular mundane stuff. Bonjour, mais je suis pas français, mais je suis canadien. Mais j'avais habité en Suisse aussi. Alors, mais j'habite aux États-Unis, à Washington D.C. Et je suis un comptable. I just said where I lived, where I'm from, where I used to live, and I just told them I'm an accountant. And that's at a basic level. All the other stuff I can't say in French. But en Suisse, à côté de Genève, near Geneva. All right, guys. So I want to remind you guys, thank you so much for being on the scope. I want to tell you guys real simple. If you're dealing with anxiety, I want to leave this with you. If you're dealing with anxiety, you got worry in your life, right? The first thing I want you to basically do is take a 5 minutes, whatever. When you get off the scope, take 5 minutes to sit still. Just go in your car if you have to, like I do. Go in my car, sit in your car for a minute, and say something repeatedly to yourself for 5 minutes. You can't do 5, start low. Do 30 seconds, do a minute, do something like that. You want to get your brain to a point where you can control it again. You want to harness your brain back, right? It's like you're sitting in a passenger car and there's no one in the driver's seat and your car is driving by itself. That's what most people do with anxiety, right? Thank you so much, Vicky Fitch. Thank you so much, Ram. Thank you so much, guys, for the love. I really appreciate it. You can catch the replay if you're on the replay. Exactly. When you realize you have control of your life, you can take control back. The second thing is you want to find something that brings you back to a sense of peace and happiness. Whatever you did in your life that made you happy, find that really quickly. Necessary drama. You know what? A lot of people are on meds. I was on meds for anxiety. I feel you. I understand. You may still have to be on meds, right? Oh, that's awesome, Keith, man. I appreciate it, man. You're a good dude. And Keith's gonna do amazing things. So you gotta follow this guy. He does these amazing game scopes. This guy literally is going to be Keith Maurice is going to be, like the Alex Trebek, the Pat Sajak of internet, of basically online games. Thanks so much, Jets fan. I really appreciate it. He's amazing. He has these amazing games. They're funny. He's trying to grow his business, and he's based in Chicago. And he has the best game shows. There's going to be a GSN, online GSN. I guarantee I can see it. I use the app Headspace. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Dave. If you guys have tools, take a look at tools and apps, whatever you need to do. First thing is you want to meditate. Same thing is you want to find happiness in what you're doing, right? Keith. Hey, Keith, put your thing back up again. Put some emojis or something that people can find you. Keith Maurice, how you feeling? How you feeling? Yes, and in addition to that, I would say necessary drama, and everyone else who deals with anxiety, I still deal with it. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I laugh after. So the minute I'm like, oh man, I'm worried about this and this and this, I'm like, I find something, I start laughing. The second thing is show gratitude. Everywhere you are. Lowe's on here, she knows. Sometimes it's kind of embarrassing, but I talk to every single person. When I reach out, I talk to every single person. In an elevator, on the street, an old lady, if her face looks all muddled up, I say, hey, how you doing today? How are you doing today? Are you happy today? Right? And when she starts smiling, I start smiling. And then I feel a sense of gratitude. I talk to every single person. Why? Because my goal in life after I go is that all the people whose lives I touch will come to my funeral. You hear what I'm saying? And so that's what's more important in life, is by showing gratitude in that regard. And again, I got emotional, but it's from a place of joy. It's not sadness, it's from a place of joy. I enjoy touching other people's lives. I'm not asking for money. I enjoy it. You see what I'm saying? So, for you, meditate. Look for something that brings you happiness. Share gratitude. Find something someone you can call on, some support, someone that can get you back, right? They can get you back to where you are, a place of happiness and joy. So that's basically that's all I can say. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to hey Kim Goddess. You can go to economics.com, EKANOMICS.com. Thanks so much, Adam, man. You're the man. I appreciate you guys. You guys are so awesome. Vicky Fitch, Kim Goddess, the P3 Solution, Sharon. Go find out more for the P3 Solution. I'm going to tweet this out as well, because I'm going to be doing a blab about marketing mistakes tonight through an interview. Thank you, Necessary Drama. I appreciate you too. I'm going to be doing a blab interview with Sharon about marketing mistakes people are having. It's a precursor to a conference, a summit I'm speaking at here in Washington, D.C., a panel. It's at 8 p.m., I think. Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Myron Gray. I'm following your stuff too, bro. I know you're doing some stuff. Yes, 8 p.m. tonight on Blab. Go check it out. Eastern time. Yes, Eastern. And, yeah, I know. Keith's doing some good things. He's, I really believe in what he's doing. And I think a lot of you guys, this is what this community is about, right? Yes, I'm going to be on Vicky Fitch's podcast. I don't know when, but I will. He said, Red said. I'd love to do that, because you guys, I admire you, Vicky Fitch, as well as Robert Stern. So what you guys are doing on the Periscope community, you guys are phenomenal. Hey, Coffee with Mike, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. My goal is simple, man. My goal is very simple. Right, yeah, tickets on sale now for Humanities. Yes, pick up my book too, startmeupbook.com. You can get it from me directly. I will sign it and send it to you. Or you can, you can get it other places, but I won't be able to sign those ones. You get it from Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, I can't sign that because it's there. But I can sign everywhere else. I can sell the ones that I send. So you guys are awesome. I really appreciate the love and support. Look, I'm only talking about the things that I go through. A lot of things that I talk about, actually 99% of the things I talk about, come from reference experiences from my life. Things that I've struggled with, things that I've learned from. And all I'm trying to do is share what works for me. And hopefully you can get one little thing that may change your life, right? If you can ask yourself this question. What if I can deal with the anxiety that I suffer from or struggle with today? Imagine what your life could be like if you can create, you can harness your will. You can harness something that makes you change your life, change the direction of your life. Where can we see you in DC? I'm looking to put together a conference. I can't talk about it yet until I get the process going, but I'm going to put together a conference in February, and then hopefully another one in the fall. But the one in February you guys have heard of. And I'm still working on details. So if I said it, you guys would know. Oh yeah, I've heard that. And then the one in the fall would be my own, would be economics conference. The one in February is gonna be a different one that's kind of popular. I'm trying to host it together. So I don't want to talk about it yet until I get the ball rolling, and then I get the approval to do it. And I gotta find the conference space. So I want it to be about 200 to 300 people. And I'm hoping I can fill it with 200 to 300 people. And we have amazing speakers. It's gonna be great. You can only get to talk for 12 to 18 minutes, usually the standard for that. So I'm trying to figure that out. This last minute thing came out yesterday. And that's just a great opportunity. So I can't really talk about it right now, but that's kind of what I'm working on. Among other things. So you guys are awesome. I missed the last comment in the scope. And, as Keith Maurice would say, what do you think? Where are you thinking of doing? Oh, it's going to be in D.C. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. Or it has to be, according to the rules, it has to be where I live, in the area. Yes, February. It's going to be February, and it's going to be in the Washington, D.C. area. And it's one you've heard about, and it has red letters. That's all I can say. Yeah. red letters, and I'm trying to host on myself. Yeah, Arlington, Virginia. It's gonna be so right outside Washington D.C., Arlington, Virginia, and it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna have some. I think I'm gonna have amazing speakers. People who can speak. Yes, you do know it, Kim Inspired. So it's gonna be amazing. Gonna be amazing speakers. It'll be great, and hopefully be life changing to some bunch of people. Yeah, no, I'm not discreet at all. I'm excited about it. So I haven't decided yet. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome if you could. Thank you so much, Fett. See you guys later. You guys take care. Have an amazing day. Dominate the rest of your day. It's not hump day. It's just Wednesday. And Wednesday's another opportunity for you to live the life you want and achieve what you want on this earth while you're still here. So check me out. I love you guys. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much for giving me the love and the hearts and the affection, everything else. Enjoy your day. No such thing as hump day. Exactly. It's a made up day to get you ready for the weekend. Seriously, all these days, hump day, Monday, it's made up so you can go to the weekend and then go to TGI Fridays and buy margaritas. That's it. And then spend money on the weekend. They want you to look at the beer companies. They want you to look forward to the weekends. So you can spend money buying beer and watching football. That's the whole point. Wednesday means nothing. All right. I love you guys. Take care.